child is calling you, you have to go see your child. And
Oh,
you,
okay, I get you now. So you're saying you're saying continue to be a man that way. That's
yeah,
what you call
continue to
continue to
be,
be a man.
yeah, no
When
matter what, even
okay, I got you. I got you.
because
Because I thought you were trying to say that he's a man for not picking him up. He needs to continue to being a man.
no, no, you got to continue being a
So what do you
man.
call that?
I mean, it's somebody that's just not responsible, someone that doesn't understand the impact that he has. So he's not being responsible to his child because if you're, you the main, you your child superhero. So if the
Right.
superhero is letting him down, it's like his confidence is just, you know what I mean? It's just gonna go down. So that's definitely not something that I support.
Yeah. So what I realize is, mothers has to kind of deal with that. Now, mothers also has to deal with the fact that if they think that the child is in a bad situation, they got to curb it to keep the child away from that bad situation.
Yeah.
Uh, and also, a lot of times, it could be that the mother uh, expect that the child is in a bad situation when the child is not in a bad situation.
Yeah.
So it's like it's one of those things to where it could be to where the mother is how would you say it? She's
Being like extra careful or something,
yeah, or over,
protection,
yeah,
protective.
being overprotective of the child even though the child is in a good situation. And so I believe that these are some of the things that makes the motherhood, being a good mother, uh, these are some of the things that makes a good mother hard. Being a good mother pretty hard, you know.
Yeah.
um uh, so that's actually number 8 with role model.
Okay.
Let me ask you a question though. Do you think that a man can raise his daughter to be a lady?
No, not a lady. He could raise her to be a human being, like a human being, but a
A
lady,
responsible human being, right?
yeah, but a
Okay.
lady to take care of her nails, to be, watching out for boys, and just things that put from the point of view of a woman. I don't think a man could raise a young girl as as that. You know what I mean? Like she needs the point of view of a woman, so she could tell the difference between daddy and mommy.
Okay, so do you think that uh a woman, a mother can raise a son to be a man?
You know, same situation because a woman has the point of view of a woman. Certain things that she just haven't been held accountable for, or certain point of views that she just hasn't, seen, or been held responsible for. She can't pass it on to the child because she gonna always look at it from the point of view of a woman. Even if she wants to think like a man, she's still coming from the point of view of a woman. So, I mean, the best thing is to just have a man in the child's life, even if she's not with the father, if the mother not with the father, and if the father not with the mother. The best thing is for them to have the opposite sex so around, so they could, teach the child from that point of view.
But what happens if they got a girlfriend or a boyfriend that's able to do the job?
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Okay, just the opposite sex, not the actual parent.
Yeah, not the actual, because
Okay.
sometimes it just doesn't work out. Sometimes it's not about the child, even though it should be, but sometimes it's just even before the child was conceived, it's just a relationship that just wasn't working out, and that it's just out of the child's power, or to bring them together. So, and in a situation like that, the best thing is to just protect the baby and make sure that he lives a normal life, as much as possible, and that's to have the point of view of each parent. Even if they got to be represented by somebody else.
Okay. All right. One of the things that happens, and this is one of the reasons why I respect a lot of females, is the way how they take on the task of not just motherhood but also fatherhood. Because we got a lot of fathers that really don't step up to the plate, and then you have a lot of fathers who step up to the plate when it's not their biological kids, but they still step up to the plate and raise those kids and be a man about it. You know what I'm saying? I respect those guys as well. But right now we talking about the females who actually step up to the plate, even for their kids, and even when it's not their biological kids. And I believe, as far as role model, them being role models is one of the sweetest things. I think it's one of those things that a woman, it's hard for a woman to be a role model for a young boy
Yeah,
and teach a young boy how to be a man. But you know, in these days, you find that there's a lot of women that doesn't have a choice and they have to raise those young boys to become young men.
yeah,
You know, so
yeah. I mean, you know, it's. I mean, like it is. It is what it is, really. To be honest, the way I feel about the situation is just, um, unless the father is really just don't want to take care of his child, then women are very strong and they have very strong supporting cast. Most of them, because there is a man that's willing to. There will be a man that, in a lot of cases, that's willing to step up. You know, for the woman and help raise the baby. But I've seen a lot of situations where the woman is just, like I said, um, she understands her advantages and she uses to to kind of like just look at it as a competition and a chance for her to win. Um, and like I said, as long as the child is being raised, if the woman doesn't want to be with the man or the man don't want to be with the woman, as long as there's somebody there to represent that opposite sex, then
right, and that's where I believe that one of the things is like community. When you have a community, like I tell you one thing, like in Jamaica, it was one of those things to where it's almost like the community is raising the kids. Because when you go to play, you go to somebody's house
yeah,
and there's rules. You got to abide by those rules.
yeah,
And if you don't, you're going to have problems with that kid's parent. And that parent might, take out off their belt and beat you
mm,
if you get so reckless that you're not listening.
mm,
And then they'll tell your parents, and then your parents beat you on top of that too. So it came down to it like it's the community was raising the kids. I remember back in the days, it was like when my parents is out, me and my brother, I jump on the back of a truck that's riding in the neighborhood because it was the cool thing to do.
yeah,
And the neighbor would see me on the back of the truck and try to run down the truck to stop the truck. And it was like,
yeah,
come
just
on,
like
mind your business.
yeah,
But it wasn't that. If he would have caught me, he would have whipped me.
yeah,
But when he told my parents, it was
yeah,
it was a problem. So the neighbors was also raising the kids in the neighborhood.
yeah,
They could see something that ain't right and step to it
yeah,
and represent for the parents because they are the parents. It's their neighborhood.
yeah, yeah. They don't want one child's behavior to start reflecting on their child, so they kind of raised it as like a team. Everybody watch out and raise each other's child. So, and just to keep the kids in check, like as like a community, like we're the parents, you're the kids.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Because if one kid start beating their parents up, then it's like the community starts to have little, you know what I mean, little holes in it where
How
they
is it? How is it in Nigeria? Is it similar to that, or is it pretty much everybody for themselves?
nah,
Or
it's similar. It's very similar. It's very similar. Like the only time you can really act up is if you leave your neighborhood. Like maybe when you're going to a school and you away from your house, and you could start doing things, but then you gotta worry about the teachers and you know what I mean, catching you. But
yeah,
that's how it goes. But one thing I noticed when I came to America was parents would be like kind of defending their child, like don't let this person do this to you, or don't let
right,
this,
right.
So it's kind of like the child have a chip on their shoulder now because their parents is giving them that okay to not let another adult
Discipline them.
discipline them. So
Facts, facts. Yeah, yeah. Now, you think is that beneficial or not really?
it's not beneficial, but what it does is it it allows the family to kind of look, the child to trust the mother or the father more, the parents, because it's kind of like they form a team within their own family group apart from the community. So it works out for that part of it. But as far as if, like I said, one child decide to just go off the wall and start acting really crazy, it reflects on the child, every child. Because now, if a child want to be bad and he gets an example of how to be bad, he's gonna proceed and follow, that
The other
example.
kid.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
got you. That and that makes sense. I think that's a great point. Great example actually. I think definitely great point. Great point. Um,
yeah,
when you have kids and when you have mothers that want the best for their children, I feel like the mothers take themselves out of the equation. I believe that uh, a good mother is a mother that's able to not just uh, be what society want them to be, but actually do whatever they feel they need to be. You know what I'm saying? I,
yeah,
I, I feel like meaning what I mean by that is there's there's women that I've known women that said to their mothers, hey, I want you to take care of my kid, my
yeah,
son or my daughter,
yeah,
while I get myself together. And when I
yeah.
get myself together, I'll take my son or my daughter back.
Mm,
And then, they take a few years, get themselves together, and then they, you know,
yeah,
bring their kids back.
yeah,
I think that's heavy. I think that's honorable actually.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? I think that's one of the things to where mothers are I don't think not to say like that, but I think a father will have too much ego to do something like that
to allow someone else to watch their kids so they are
until they get themselves together. You know what I'm saying? I think that their ego is
I think fathers could do that. I think fathers do that, but they
have
don't.
have you known a father that did that? I don't know a male that did that before. I known a couple of females that have done that,
Yeah,
and I feel like that's honorable. But as far as a male, I don't.
I mean
I've never seen a male do that. Just to be honest.
nah, the man is not gonna talk about it. Like he's not gonna be direct about it. He's gonna you just gonna he's gonna and I think that's what's going on with a lot of men where they get called, whatever names that be, or they not in the child's life, is they just don't know how to communicate to say like they not maybe mentally ready, or and instead of communicating and making it out, putting it out there clearly, they 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 do other things that kind of displays that instead of communicating that. So a woman that and not all women is the thing is like when you have a community like we saying, you could see if they're ready, if they not, and you could give them the help that they need. But with a man, it's kind of more hard for the community to see it, to kind of see like, okay, he's not ready for fatherhood, and the man is not gonna communicate that because the ego.
Right. And if he have the opportunity to keep his child, I don't think he's gonna give up his child because he know that he can't take care of that child. I think a mother, well, I've seen women that did it, and that's why I feel like this is something that a woman is able to do. And not to say a man's not able to do it, but I think because of the ego of
Yeah,
a man, he would not do it. He rather, take the child through whatever whatever unnecessary trouble that he have to take the child through. He rather take the child through that. You know,
yeah.
that's my opinion. I might be wrong, but what do you say? What's your thoughts on that?
I just never really experienced it. I never seen it. I never seen.
Right.
Yeah. So
It's just I've seen women do it, but
yeah,
not men.
yeah. I never seen it.
Yeah, yeah. So I don't know, fellas, if y'all are out there and if any fellas out there ever did that, holla at us. Let us know because I think that that'll be kind of like a special case. It's one of those things that you just don't see. Big Ed, salute to Big Ed, Major Pain, definitely in the building. I see you. Um, and the other thing, let me ask you a question. Would you consider, a mother, uh, uh, a lady who takes care of a child, right? Or who takes care of her family, right?
Yeah, the nurture the child. Yes.
Right. All right. So what do you think about a female that has dogs and cats, pets?
Um,
You consider that female a mother and they take care of the mother? I mean,
I don't
and they take
consider
care
the
of the pet.
pets.
They feed the pet. They clothe. Well, not clothe. Well, yeah. Sometimes they clothe the dog. Cause
Yeah.
I'm seeing some of these dogs got sneakers on, downstairs when they walking.
Yeah.
Do you consider them as a what do you consider them? Would you say they're a parent as well, even though they got, let's say, a couple of dogs?
I can't say they are officially a parent, but they definitely have are showing the capability, and because being a mother is all about love, having love for the child, love that.
But that's the same thing with a dog.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
It puts them in that same category because the love that they have for something that's outside of them,
yeah,
but is not. I can't consider them a mother just as maybe a caretaker taking care of the baby. I can't consider her the mother, but I do consider her maybe the nanny that what I mean, truly have love for the child. I just think it's different when a baby when a woman actually carries the child, carries the fetus.
well, Major Payne made a good point. What about the females that cannot have a child? You know what I'm saying? And this is the thing. When you have females that I think that pets, animals, any animals, I feel that if a female has an animal, I would call her a mother as well. That, but obviously, if she's taking care of the animal,
Yeah,
I would say that she's a mother as well. You know, and just because she didn't, because yeah, you have, they don't have to give birth to be a mother.
yeah,
And if they're taking care of a live, something that's alive,
yeah,
I think that's a parent.
yeah. That's a parent, but I think the true experience of a parent
Yeah.
is carrying it,
But
carrying
what
it.
about stepmother?
Yeah, it's not that they are the rules apply because
So you don't call them a mother. You wouldn't call them a like a. real mother.
They not a real mother. They just the caretaker, the guardian. Because it's true. Because that's what separates the man.
I disagree with that
That's
though.
what separates the man from the mother. The fact that she carries him is a certain bond that we
All
as
right,
men has never
but
felt, and we can't explain the bond that happens within that 9 months.
but you know what too though? I've seen mothers that carry the kids that didn't treat the kid as if they were bonded. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
And so
yeah, but
and
that's
then
just
there's mothers that don't, I mean, let me not say mothers, there's women that takes care of kids that is they're not their own. They didn't carry them
yeah,
in the womb. And I don't think that just because the woman carried a baby in the womb, I think if they take care of that living person or that living thing, uh, not even thing, but that living being,
yeah.
then that's a mother.
Now, I'm not saying. My thing is, I
Yeah.
look at it as like the caretaker because
Okay.
the definition of a mother, the technical definition is someone that gives birth.
I thought the definition of a mother was take the one that takes care of the
No,
child.
that's the caretaker. That's the guardian.
Oh well.
The
No.
scientific,
All right. So a mother. Okay. So
yeah,
a mother.
a
I
mother.
got to define it. So you're saying a mother. You cannot call a woman who takes care of. So if the woman does not take care of her, well, I don't want to say her daughter, but if she did not give birth to the child,
Yeah,
and she's taking care of the child, she's
Yeah.
raising the child
yeah,
as a mother,
yeah.
but she's not the mother.
She's the caretaker
Not the mother.
because,
I
like,
call that a mother. I must say.
the
I don't know.
it's a spirit. It becomes spiritual. It's a spiritual thing because carrying that it's some a man could be a caretaker. A man could do everything that person is doing. If a man has the same love for the baby, he could do everything the woman is doing. But a man cannot give that birth, and that's why a
Right,
man
right.
cannot be a mother.
Right. I totally agree.
So
I agree. So
a man could replace that nanny or that caretaker with that love, but a man cannot replace a mother because a man does not carry the baby. So that's what makes the mother special. That's what makes the mother
because they
carrying.
carrying the baby. But what I want to know, what I'm saying is, I feel like what's also what I consider a mother actually over giving birth to the baby. I consider the woman that takes care of the child a mother
Yeah,
versus a woman that gives birth to the child a mother.
yeah.
I don't. Me personally, and listen,
I agree.
I might be wrong,
I
but
agree with you, but it's just not scientifically correct. Because even when we
I call it scientifically correct though.
scientifically is they give birth.
No, scientifically is taking care of that kid.
Really,
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's what I think.
a mother
I
is
mean,
a mother because
I totally understand what you're saying.
yeah, a mother has to give birth.
A mother has to give birth in your eyes. For me, a mother has to take care of the child
Okay.
to be called a mother.
Yeah.
I can't call a mother if she doesn't take care of that child, or she doesn't put the child in a better situation than that the child needs to be in. So, giving birth to the child is it's sort of like a donor. You could be a donor. You could be a carrier.
Commercial coming up too.
Oh yeah, don't know. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be right back. Holla at me radio. This is what it is.
Yeah. Straight.
Exactly how the road wine feel. Oh baby, oh lady, yeah. This one is called Over Skies. Never know you would I really feel so nice, love sponge. I don't wanna let you go. With you, I'm in no hurry. Oh no, this one is called Lover's Choice. Never know you would I really feel so nice, love sponge. I don't wanna let you go. With you, I'm in no hurry. Lord, you're lovable, kissable, desire the inevitable. Without your sweet caress, I'm so damn miserable. Touch your finesse, feel far off you go. Seeing you walk away, send my eyes in smoke. You're traceable, lookable. All the man them after you, they claim you do something they just can't explain to the brain. Yeah, man shouldn't have no complaint. Oh no, this one is called Lover's Choice. I never know you would I really feel so nice, love sponge. I don't wanna let you go. With you, I'm in no hurry. Oh no, this one is called Lover's Choice. Never know you would I really feel so nice, love sponge. I don't wanna let you go. With you, I'm in no hurry. Hey, slow motion is the way for us to enjoy the day. Always taking time to listen what you got to say. She thinks I've been spending too much time on the beat. I try to make her understand. That's how we eat, darling. Don't quarrel with me. It hurt you too easily. Don't be messed up by silly tendency. Don't know it. This one is called Lover's Choice. I never know you would I really feel so nice, love sponge. I don't wanna let you go. With you, I'm in no hurry. Oh no, this one is called Lover's Choice. I never know what you would I really feel so nice, love sponge. I don't wanna let you go. With you, I'm in no hurry. She make a can't forget about the oven and squeezing. I feel as if I'm upside down in the ceiling. Confess this girl is the ultimate thing. What it means to be loved, me no asking. Swing baby, swing while I continue. Sing your favorite song. Let's go dancing. Hey, this one is called Lover's Choice. I never.
Ladies and gentlemen, we definitely back in the building. Yeah, we're gonna get back to it. We're gonna talk about it. Pretty Blacks, you are making a point.
Okay.
You are making a point that there is a mother. You're saying the mother has to give birth.
Yeah, because one thing I wanted to add to that is
Yeah.
when a child is raised by maybe an adopted parent, you know, even when they get older, it's something in them that just want to go back and find their mother. It's a connection. It's not. I'm not saying that every woman that gives birth has that wisdom, but there's definitely a wisdom there. There's people that catch the wisdom and is able to grow with it, and there's people that just never gets the wisdom out of it. But there's a connection there that even when the child grows up, it just has to find its biological mother, not necessarily to repair the relationship, but just to get next to them, just to see them, just to that bond has to just be met. So I mean, and people that don't get to see their biological parents, it's kind of like they have a different demeanor about them. They have it's like a confidence. A lot of them that I know, it's like a confidence in them that they know that they not gonna be able to really meet their biological parents. So it's a certain struggle that they know that this is it. This is the struggle that I have been birthed with, and I have to just proceed with my life. So it give them a certain confidence, like, yeah, this is who I am. But the people that do have their parents still living, or they could reach out to them, they it become an insecurity. They have to go find the people that don't have it. It becomes a confidence because they know that story is over with. So it's a certain bond that's being built in that pregnancy that cannot be duplicated. The love could be felt from somebody else, but the love that pregnancy while the baby was still in the womb is just something that cannot be duplicated. The child always want to know who's their biological parent.
Yeah, well, me personally, okay, they want to know, but I cannot call I, because, like, if you think about it like that, right? What you're
Yeah.
saying is that if a lady who's a mother, in my eyes, not in
Uh-huh.
your eyes, if a lady raised a child,
Yeah.
the child is 21 years old now.
Yeah.
That's the child's mother because she raised her.
Because you know why is a thin line between what we're trying to explain, because love represents the mother represents love, but the love that the mother gives the child when the child is physically here is different from the love that the mother gives the child when the child is in the womb. It's a love that cannot be taken away. It's a love that it lasts forever because the child will always want to know,
Yeah, I disagree with that, man. 100%. I think that
because it's still love. It's still
I
love that
disagree.
it's still love, even if the parent is not a maybe a good mother to the child. It's still love there that allows the parent to birth the child. Because
Well, biologically, the way our body is set up to where certain things happen, and your body is like nature. Nature doesn't care if you're planting a bad seed or if you're planting a good seed. You plant the seed grows. If you plant a apple tree, an apple is gonna bear from that tree. If an orange is just not gonna bear from it.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? That's just nature. So I don't think me. This is just my opinion, but I don't think love has to do with giving birth to a child. I think love has to do with raising a child.
love
You could give
definitely
you
I,
could give birth. You
that
could
has
give
to
birth
do with
with hate.
love. No, you can't give birth with hate.
Are you kidding me?
No, because now we talking the natural world to the spiritual world.
Right. Right.
Spiritually, you
Right.
have to love what's
To give birth?
yeah, you
No, I
have,
disagree.
because if you don't love us, because at that moment the
Uh huh.
child and the mother is one.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I
So
agree.
if
I
you
agree.
if you let's say it's unfortunate situation,
Well,
maybe
not to cut you off.
uh,
I believe we're always one.
yeah, but the the mother and the child is more prevalent. It's like more is is more actual than is more physical. Is more natural than, because we're one spiritually. In our minds we think is one. Is like one universal mind,
Hmm.
but when we talking pregnancy, this is physical. This is like there is no separation. This is physically we're one, and the closest thing I could see to a person that's giving birth with hate is maybe somebody that have an addiction, that's having a child, and they've been warned that having this addiction can harm their child, and they continue to go about it the same way. That's the closest. Birth has to be given with love. There is no way.
All right. Yeah, I mean, I disagree. I
How can
totally
you so
disagree.
how can
I,
you
I,
give
I
birth?
don't think you need love in order to give birth. I think that giving birth, there's many women that is not um intoxicated with anything, and they give birth, and they give birth to a healthy individual, and it's it's no love there. They don't even want nothing to do with the child, and then they give the child up for adoption. And so I believe that the real mother is the one who raised the child with that love.
But when they
I think the love is required to raise the child,
yeah,
not to give
definitely,
birth to the
because
child.
now it
And I
becomes
right,
physical.
Right. And I also believe that to be called a mother, you need to be able to put that child in a good situation. Whether you raise a child or you put the child in a good situation, that's when you call the mother. I don't think just because you give birth, you're called a mother. That's just my opinion. I don't know if y'all out there shoot in the text your opinion, shoot in the chat room your opinion.
Yeah.
I think this is two different perspective. I think it's awesome though. I would have never known that somebody would have thought that a person is a mother just because they give birth.
Because we talking two different worlds right now. We talking physically and we're talking spiritually. Spiritually is when the baby's in the fetus because they sharing the same mind, they sharing the same body. One person eat, two people get fed. So they are two in total. So how could you hate yourself? Hate is deep.
Right,
Hate
but
is
you know,
deeper
people
than-
hate themselves. You got self hate.
Nobody truly hate themselves though, because
no.
the true meaning of hate is
Yeah.
taking yourself out. It's the true meaning of hate is suicide.
And that happens.
Yeah, that happens. So to give
Yeah,
birth,
yeah.
you have to gotta be loved there.
Nah, not necessarily.
Because
No.
if you truly hate the
Yeah,
baby, the only result of that hate would be suicide. If
All right,
you continue
so
to
here's-
have that
here's
baby,
what-
because at once,
Here's what happened. Here's what happened. A lot of times in let's talk about psychology right now, right?
Yeah.
When you're dealing with psychology, what happens is people who has issues, mental issues, and these issues are not diagnosed. What they do is that they project. So this is called projection. So basically, if they have a problem, they might think that the problem is coming from someone else. Now,
Yeah.
a lot of times these people have problems. Let's say person who's pregnant with a child, they might be having some external problem, whether it be financial problems or any kind of problems, and they might blame the baby, unborn baby, as being the cause of the problem. So they use projection. So they project their problem to that specific person, even though the person is within them, even though it's inside of them. It still could be projection other than themselves because they believe that their mind is one and they believe that the baby is also one. So they don't look at it as baby being
Yeah,
together with
yeah.
them. So they use projection. So they project that problem, or they say that because they're having this problem is this baby's fault.
yeah, nah, I
And so
understand.
they hate the baby for letting them have this problem, and so they can't wait to push this baby out.
Yeah, but that's
And-
ignorance, isn't it? That's just
Hey,
them being ignorant of the
How many ignorant people there are out there?
Yeah.
We have
The world is
I
full
want
of it.
yeah I don't want to say the world is full of it, but it's so much ignorant people out there.
Yeah, but it doesn't change the fact though, King.
Yeah, so you can't say that you have to have love in order to give birth, because some people, they do not have love for that baby that they have in there because they think that the baby is the cause of their problem or the root of their problem, not taking.
Now
Nah.
I definitely understand where you're coming from.
Okay.
I think our where we like kind of like disagree at is basically the point where the
I personally think it's very interesting. I think it's interesting that you look at, and it's all good. That's your opinion. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? But I find it to be very interesting because I always look at it that if a person raise a child,
Yeah.
that's the parent.
but anybody could do that.
No.
Anybody, a man could do that.
Yeah, and that's a father.
Yeah. But now, what's the difference between the father and the mother at that point? If you put two people together, a male and a female,
Yeah.
that's raising a baby that neither one of them is biological to parent,
Right.
what really separates the mother and the father at this point? Because they both showing the baby love.
Right, but it's all about what kind of love they could each show them, because as a man could actually bring certain thing to a baby.
But love is
And
love. Love is
Love
love.
is love, yes, but a man cannot teach a child how to be a woman. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
that's true.
I'm a man,
That's true. Yeah.
and I know how to be a man.
Yeah.
I mean, I communicate with females. I communicate with women,
Yeah,
but it doesn't mean that I know how to be a woman.
yeah, or raise, kind of teach
Exactly.
one to be one. Yeah,
Yeah. So it is one of those things that I feel like a person, when a mother and a father raise a child, a mother is gonna teach that child the best that she knows, and the father is gonna teach that child the best that he knows. And with that child, get the combination of a mother and a father.
yeah.
Now, I don't think that just because a person is raising a child, two people are raising a child, which you would say the caregiver,
Yeah.
I would call them not the caregiver. I would call them the mother and the father because they're raising that child.
But this is the thing, right? You know
Yeah.
where? All right. My question for you is: you believe in DNA, right?
Well, I mean, that's facts.
Yeah, yeah. You believe in the facts of that.
Yeah,
So
that's just, you know,
the DNA of the mother,
theoretical facts.
the biological mother, the
Yeah.
DNA of the mother will still be in the child. And in the research of DNA, it kind of it it could kind of like affect the child in the choices. Maybe you know it's certain things that DNA carries on. Histories. And if the biological mother is not maybe living the right way, right? It's gonna affect the child. The child is gonna be raised a certain. The child is gonna be birthed a certain way. Now, it's not really. Now, if a mother come through, that's not biological, a lady, a woman come through to take care of the child and give the child the love, the child could still have certain issues, and it could be blamed on just the DNA of the child, like the choices that the child is making. Of course, it's a lot harder if the child is being raised in a certain environment that the woman that's the caregiver is not allowing the child to make those bad choices. But the moment the child is let off into the free world, the experiences and the lessons that the child want to take on could easily lead back to the the issues that the biological parents was going through. So we don't act scientifically.
Okay.
We not saying, oh yeah, the caretaker DNA is why this child is doing this, is affecting, it's just in their DNA because the caretaker. No, we're going back to the biological mother and the father. We're looking at their DNA and how maybe it's affecting the child from the with the choices they're making. So at that point, that's what I'm saying is the mother and the father, because it's
All right.
it's it's,
So let me
it's
ask you a question.
scientific.
Are you saying that? All right. So I'm I got to make sure that I understand exactly what you're saying, because what you're saying is DNA. Based on the DNA, this is the reason why a child act a certain way, or this is the reason
It's
why.
it gives the possibility for the child to make certain choices.
Okay.
Yeah.
Me personally, I feel that depending on how you raise that child, that's what that child put on. Now, DNA, I feel like DNA will give a child the ability to look a certain way, and also give a child to maybe want to be more assertive, or to be a little more aggressive. But I think that if a child is brought up in a certain environment and in a certain community and around certain people, that child is going to adapt wherever that child is raised into. I think that at that point, the DNA doesn't even matter. I think that with DNA, definitely the looks is gonna they're gonna look a certain way, you know. But when it comes down to the behavior, yeah, I feel that environment, environment, and what the child is exposed to is what's gonna make a child act a certain way. That's my opinion on that. I think that, and
It's
this
possible.
yeah, this is the reason why when you have certain, and you have certain kids that they are brought up a certain way, and
Yeah.
still yet they end up totally on the south side,
Yeah.
and they brought up on the north side, and they have no idea what the south side is, but the south side keep drawing them to the south side. And then some people would say, well, it's in their DNA.
Yeah.
And okay, it's a possibility, but I personally believe that it's all, maybe they see it on TV, maybe they hear it on the radio,
Yeah.
maybe I think it's all based on, because kids is gonna adapt. Kids is gonna adapt to what they see and what they
Yeah.
hear, and
Yeah.
and who's more
But
influential to them.
more about it is the environment that
Yeah.
they in. So the DNA, um,
DNA, I agree with you with the looks, the physical features, and
even
know.
that, apart from the choices, the physical features,
DNA, yeah,
it goes right back to the mother.
And but the thing about it,
Caretaker is one thing.
I call that a mother though. I call the caretaker the mother, and I call
But how?
I would say what you call the mother, I would call the donor.
There's no such thing scientifically though.
Oh, but there is. You have people
A
that
donor is
that-
the mother. Well, I see what you're saying.
yeah, you have people that carry babies for people. They carry the baby in they womb for people.
But donor
And they get
is,
paid for
donor
it.
is an action.
And then they are the donor.
Donor is an action thing. It's not
Yeah.
really a title.
Donor is a carrier.
Yeah, which is action. Is an action is you doing something.
Right. And
it's not a
that's
title.
That's what you call a mother. You could call it a title. You could give them that title as a donor. It's just like a sperm donor.
Mother is not an action. Mother is a title, right? Or what you think? You think being a mother? Because I think
it's both. I think it's both.
I think this is where our
Right. It's a
conversation
possibility.
breaks down.
Yeah.
You're explaining mother as an action. I'm explaining mother as a
title. Right. But I say that shouldn't be a title.
It
what
will
I'm
always
saying,
be a title because of the features.
right.
and-
That's what you're saying.
Yeah.
But for me, I say that's a donor. I would give that. Okay.
I see what you're saying.
You say the mother is the title.
the title, yes.
I'd say what you say is the mother. I'd say that's the donor. You know what I mean? It's very, it's really the same thing. Well, I understand that you're saying that's
You know
the
what?
title.
I got
That's
something.
the mother.
I got something for you. I got something for you.
He's got to come back here. He's gonna. All right. What's the comeback? Okay.
The Integra, right?
The act. Okay. Yeah. The taggy.
All right. So let's say you find an engine that I don't know. What engine can I say? A BMW engine.
Okay. Yeah. I'm with
and
you.
it fit perfectly.
I'm with you. Yeah.
into
Yeah.
the car.
Okay.
And you put this maybe.
And I could make it fit too. Yeah.
Yeah. You put that perfect BMW that blows your mind on the performance that you didn't even think you could add on everything. Okay. Now you got the perfect BMW engine,
right?
And you taking it, you service your own car, so now you going through BMW places to service it. You getting advices from BMW fanatics to take care of this car because now you got that nice BMW engine in it. But when you step out in the street, right, the features of the car is still Integra.
Right.
How many? Who is when they see it at face value?
Okay.
What are they calling the car? What is the title of the car?
Okay, and I understand.
What is
taggy?
What
is
is
an
more?
Integra?
No, because I don't want to take away nothing. I don't want this conversation to get twisted. I don't want to take away nothing from the mothers that take care of the babies and the mothers.
Right. No. We just keeping it 100, man.
Yeah, I don't want to take nothing away from them.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Definitely respect them.
Yeah, we're not taking anything away from mothers or caregivers or anything like that.
Yeah.
A mother is a mother at the end of the day. Father is a father.
Facts. facts.
We're just breaking down
Yeah,
certain
we just
things.
being scientific up here.
Yeah, that's all. So yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so now you got that Integra with the nice BMW engine.
Right.
You know what I mean? You go, you rub shoulders with BMW fanatics because they know about
The engine.
the engine.
Okay, and
But
the performance.
you step in the street.
Yeah.
No, unless you go out your way to put the BMW tags on the car to
Right.
let them know it's BMW parts in there. People is gonna say, "Oh, that's an Integra right there."
All right.
Oh, you go to another town, that's an Integra. People's gonna argue you down till you become personal with them
And pop the hood.
and pop the hood. Like,
All right.
look, this
Okay.
It
okay.
goes the same thing. 'Cause
That's a
the
great
BMW.
that's a great example. But let me make a comeback on that. I like that though. I like that. I
All
like
right,
that.
all
I
right.
think that's awesome. I love that. I love that.
Yeah, that's why we do holla at
yeah,
the radio.
yeah. So for me, you know the way I look at that. I look at that as a child. You have the child, and
Okay.
the child, instead of the child actions and everything being the external of the car, I'd say the paint of the car is still an Integra paint.
Yeah.
But what happens is that child takes characteristics from the caregiver. When the caregiver start raising that
Yeah.
child walk like the caregiver.
Yeah.
When the caregiver start talking to that child talks like the caregiver.
Yeah.
When that caregiver start feeding that child and teaching that child how to eat, guess what? That child start eating like the caregiver.
Yeah.
So what happens is with the child, the external might be, the paint might remain the same as an
Yeah.
Integra, but everything about that child becomes of the caregiver, because what the caregiver is just like you were saying earlier, that's the hero. That's
Yeah.
who the child know as the giant, the boss,
yeah. Nah, I see
the
what
God.
you're saying. I see what you're saying.
You know what I mean? So
On the inside, it becomes the caregiver. On the inside, out.
right, the only thing that remains the same is just the paint. It's just
External.
the exterior.
Yeah.
You understand? Because it's just like, let's say you have a Caucasian lady and an African American baby, and she raised that African American baby.
Yeah.
That baby, when that baby becomes a man, you talk to that baby, it's gonna be characteristics
Of the
of
Caucasian.
that Caucasian man and woman, whoever is
But
raising
this
the
is-
child. And the thing about it is,
In the world we're living
Every-
in, though, what side? When not even like win, like it's a competition, but what side do they identify? What side do the world identify the child as? And this is something that's I don't want to say a problem, but it's very prominent in America.
yeah. Well, it's gonna be identified as the external.
Exactly.
Okay,
So it's like you
but
can't
still,
leave that. You can't.
I'm not saying you disregard it or
And the
you
child
throw
is
it
gonna
out.
always want to identify when the child is grown.
Yeah.
It's gonna always want to
Know
find out-
about the donor,
Yeah. Well,
not the mother. The mother is who raised that child. The
nah,
mother
I see
is
what
the
you're
one
saying. I see
who's
what you're
gonna
saying.
instill the things in that child to say, "Oh, I want to know who. I want to know
no.
why I look the way I look,"
I
which is
see
the
your point
paint
of
job.
view.
Is that's all that it is. It's just the paint job.
Yeah. Now I see your point of view. I see your point. No, but one thing also is
Uh-huh.
it's not just the paint job. It's what gave the first thing that gave this child life. It's the first
Right.
carrying the baby. It's the first caregiver.
Right, and that's why it's the donor.
It's not a donor because it's also a caregiver.
No,
Because
who,
if
who the mother?
Yeah, the biological mother. Because if we using the car for example,
Right.
the Integra would have an Integra engine in there at one point.
Right. At when it was manufactured.
Yeah.
Right.
So the baby had
That's
the biological
manufactured.
mother as the caregiver at one point, as the mother.
But I can't. Okay, so here's just like you said, it's the title. It's a title. For me, I give a title as a mother, as a person who put the baby in a better position, who put the baby in a position to where it can develop naturally healthy and with all the attributes that the child needs. I'd say a donor is a person who carries the baby.
Yeah.
That's all they do is carry the baby and spit the baby. Well, let's not say spit the baby out, but they carry the baby and they push the baby out,
Yeah.
and then whoever else got to take care of the baby. For me, that's the parents, that's the mother, and that's the father.
Just to be honest,
As far as title, if you want to give it a title.
just what I want to say. I'm gonna be
Yeah, yeah.
honest. I think
Nah, keep it 100. I like that.
your opinion is a very modern American opinion,
Mm.
because you go anywhere in the world and you know, let's say you go to
Nigeria.
Nigeria and
Yeah.
you have a child that was born in Nigeria,
Yeah.
but was raised in America,
Right.
but he has the feature
Nigerian.
of Nigerian,
Yeah.
but he acts and behaves as an American.
Well, that was you.
Yeah.
Right.
Basically.
yeah.
So it doesn't matter what
They act like.
you act like. They're gonna be like, that's my people. That's one of us.
Yeah, but that's fine. That's all good.
And the
but
child
when you're
is
dealing
gonna
with a
want
mother,
to identify, because it's like in this case we say Nigeria is my biological mother, America is my caretaker. Yes, America raised me. I was raised in this country, but you're gonna still always want to identify with your biological, the where you was giving birth. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I feel you.
And
on
when
that.
you have that freedom, when you have that control,
Mhm.
you're gonna always want to have that love, because it's a love that it cannot be duplicated. It's like no matter what the other country in America in this example is doing for the kid, the love could be perfect. It could be a perfect relationship, but you cannot duplicate. It's the difference between something being good,
Okay.
like the relationship could be good, but it cannot be duplicated. You know what I mean? Because it is different when a child is walking around and they are grown now. They 21. They have their own car. They have their own money.
Right.
Yeah, I had a great relationship with the woman that raised me, but now I'm able to step on my own too, and I want to know
My mommy.
my mommy.
I
And
think
it's
I
because-
think if a person say that to me, to be quite honest with you, I'd say that person is ungrateful, and I'd say that person is
no,
is
because
I'm
they
I'm just giving you
acknowledge.
my I'm just
No.
giving you my opinion.
No, they
I think that
acknowledge.
if a person raise a child from they are young and raise that child to be
No,
an
it's
adult,
not ungrateful.
It's
Maybe
ungrateful.
that may be a different world, because ungrateful is, oh no, the relationship wasn't good, even if it was good.
if you're not gonna
If
call
they-
that person your mother, if you're not gonna,
No,
this
no,
is
no,
just
no,
my
no, no,
opinion.
no, no, no.
If you're not gonna
No,
call that person your
it's not.
mother
It's not called. They're gonna they
or
they
acknowledge that person as
acknowledge
your mother.
everything is there. The love, the respect, everything is there. I'm not
Okay.
saying no disrespecting between the child and
Yeah.
the woman that raised them, but there's still something that's gonna want to find
And that's
out.
fine.
It's a power thing. It's a, oh, okay, I grew up with these people. They know their biological parents. Now I have the power to find out who my biological. Is a self esteem thing. Is a thing. Is inferior complex. Getting over that inferiority complex is saying I was raised around these people and I could behave like these people. I could get along with these people. Matter of fact, I have a great relationship with these people, but because I don't look like them,
Mhm.
I'm gonna go search the people that I look like. It's not saying that, oh, now I want to just be around the people that I look like, because that's not who I behave like. But
Right,
I want to I want to be independent enough to say, hey, I could also come by and chill with the people that I look like, even though I have a great relationship with the people that raised me.
And that's fine. Yeah, I don't. I think that's great. I'm talking about mother. I'm talking about
Yeah, we
if
getting
that
a little
if
off.
that person. No, we pretty much still on track. But that person or that child, you know what I'm saying? And I think I kind of want to really kind of get to where your thoughts are, only because I think it's like cultural. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And we're multicultural.
Yeah.
So
Facts.
your opinion is very important, and I think everybody should really hear your opinion. They should respect it as well.
Yeah.
For me, I feel like this is my opinion, and I'm standing strong on it. Only because when it comes down to it, I feel that a female or a male, but a mother, if a mother raised a child, I feel that's the mother, hands down. The carrier, if that baby goes back to Nigeria and
Yeah.
want to know where the mother is and find the mother, and now that person is calling the biological mother, hey, mommy, I love you, I love you. That's ungrateful.
No, because why?
That's ungrateful.
Not if it's not ungrateful unless he's disrespecting the person that raised him.
He's disrespecting himself. It's disrespectful. There's no loyalty. There's nothing.
No.
There's
It doesn't, because it's a
it's-
power thing. You looking at it, I guess the way
I'm
you
looking at
explain
it as disrespectful.
yeah, the way you explaining it is kind of like switching sides from the
No, I'm
person
not
that
saying
raised them.
I'm not saying the person who raised them, they're gonna
disrespect them. So
them.
if they
I'm
don't
not-
disrespect them, it's not disrespectful because it's the
but
truth.
I find it disrespectful.
How?
I
The
find it
truth-
disrespectful
the truth
because
cannot be disrespectful.
it's not the truth. That lady did not raise that child.
But the lady looks but they look like the child.
But that's not who raised the child.
Yeah, but but that person is also important. You gotta
It's the
acknowledge
donor. It's the donor. That's it.
the donor is important. Then you gotta
Oh
acknowledge
no,
the
no,
person.
I'm not saying the donor is not important, but most important is the mother.
Yes.
So now the donor is just the donor. And I'm not
No,
saying the
no,
donor.
no. The
All right,
donor
all right,
looks
let me
like
say-
you. You look like the donor.
But it's
You
not
can't
important.
forget. You can't forget it
It's not that you can forget it, but you
because
it's
everywhere
the-
you go, the world is gonna remind you of what you look like
okay, but
more
you,
than
you
what
know,
you behave
you
like.
know what the world is gonna remind you. But guess what? Who was there for you? Who is giving you emotional support? Who's giving you physical support? Who's giving you mental support? Who's teaching you your ABCs? Who's teaching you 1 + 1 = 2? Who's sacrificing to make sure you go to school? Who's teaching you how to eat? Who's teaching you how to brush your teeth? Who's teaching you who's changing your diapers? Who's making sure they go up to your school to talk to your teachers? Who's whipping you when you're not doing the right thing? Come on.
Yeah.
The donor don't even matter at that point. To be quite honest,
The donor,
the donor don't even matter at that point.
no, because the donor is forever solidified.
Yeah, but
Because the donor
doesn't-
looks like you.
just because you look like the donor doesn't mean the donor is the
So
number one.
back to the Integra.
The donor becomes the bottom of the line or the back of the line.
So back to the Integra.
yeah.
You telling me you pull up
Mm-hmm.
next to
A BMW.
a
or
BMW
something. Okay. Yeah.
and you got the same
Engine.
engine as that BMW.
Yeah.
You telling me that the fact that you look like an Integra don't matter? Because you are
In
an
a race, if you're racing, no, it doesn't matter. If what we're gonna do is race,
we're not talking race. Because obviously we talking
if we talking,
we
racing.
talking mother
yeah,
and
yeah.
we coming from the point of view of the mother.
So if we talking the mother
Do
is
the
the title.
Integra.
The mother is the title. The mother is the internal. The mother is the raising. The mother is.
But you
is
telling
who's-
me that
who's bringing up,
the
who's
fact-
teaching, who's installing all of that.
yes,
in there.
but yeah, we respect that. But
Yeah,
you what you saying is
Uh-huh.
the fact that you look like an Integra doesn't even matter.
Doesn't matter.
to the people that's standing there at the stoplight looking at you too. That's a
This is a type of,
BMW.
right,
But they gonna be
okay,
like, oh, you think you a BMW too, huh? Until they hear your
right,
story.
right, and I understand your point. It's a great point. It's a valid
And I
point.
think, and back to
It's a valid point. But
yeah,
for me,
yeah.
what it boils down to is now the donor.
But back to
And
the child. Let's
and
talk about the babies. Let's
yeah,
forget all the examples. The baby, it affects the confidence of the child.
not necessarily.
Yes, it does.
Not
Because
necessarily.
if you
Because if
don't
you
have no
raise that,
history of who you look like, and
uh-huh.
especially who you look like,
But you could be taught. You could be taught.
you can be taught. But
That person could teach you
if
your history and
if
teach you where you come from.
and
But
you
teach
know
you
what
where
it
you
is,
are,
this
where you're at.
this convo really touched home with a lot of people that I grew up with.
Yeah.
If the person that gave birth to you
Mm-hmm.
looks like you,
Yeah.
and maybe you actually are able to pass by them, and
Mhm.
they're doing bad in life
Mm-hmm.
to the point where it's almost like it hurts, because it's not about are they there to raise you. It's it's who you look like. That's who you look like.
All right. So what's more important to you?
No,
Who
it's not
you-
about importance. It's about
Okay.
the confidence. Your confidence, because now you rubbing shoulders with kids in your community that maybe have their biological parents, they parents that look like them, come pick them up. They
Mhm.
doing good. They clean. They, you know what I mean? They successful. But the
Right.
person that look like you though,
Mhm.
yeah, you are blessed, and you have people to teach you right from wrong, and they also showing you how to be successful.
Right.
But the person that look like you, every time maybe you leave your community to go, I don't know, go shop at another at the next town, you got to see the person that looks like you,
Yeah.
looking horrible, looking just like nobody in the world cares for them.
Mm-hmm.
They look like you.
Mhm.
It affects your confidence. It affects your confidence, because you
I
still got to
understand.
look in the mirror
Right.
and see yourself.
I totally understand what you're saying. The thing about that is, I feel as if that's the case, to where your confidence level is not where it should be at, it doesn't mean that the in your case you would say the caregiver is not doing what they need to do. In this case, now the caregiver need to step it up and also teach that child their history, and teach that child about morals, and teach that child about loyalty. And if they teach that child about morals and loyalty and values, there's no way that that child is going to turn their back on the, in your case, the caregiver, and say, oh, you know what, I need to go.
No, but it's
Fine.
not. It's not a thing of turning their back. Like,
To me it is. The
No.
reason why is because if if you raise a child and that child is saying that I need to go find my true parents, biological parents, I think that's cool. I don't have a problem with that.
Yeah.
The thing that I have a problem with is when they're saying that, oh, you know what, I'm gonna go find my real mommy and daddy. You know what I'm saying? Oh, this is that you whoever raised me is now secondary to my true
I see
mommy
what
and
you're
daddy.
saying.
And
Yeah,
I think
you're right.
I think that
an
would be a
action.
problem,
It's an action.
that in your choice you say the caregiver didn't instill certain morals and values into that child, because you got to install these morals and values into the child to let them understand that you have to be loyal to the hands that feed you. It's
Yeah.
just like my
Yeah.
dog is not gonna bite me
Yeah.
because I feed my dog.
Yeah.
And not to compare a child to a dog, but you got to instill these values.
But also one
into-
thing that we
into a
must
child.
a child is still a child. They don't make the choices. We make the choices for them. So all that that's going on is basically the choice of the
Right, but we're
caregiver.
talking about a child. Well,
until
let's say
they grow up.
they grow up and
Now
they
they
say,
making
oh,
their own
now,
choices.
yeah, now I'm gonna go find my real mommy and daddy. I think
But
that's
that's really
I
who
think
they
that's
are.
disrespectful.
Nah, I see where you coming from. I
Yeah,
definitely see where you coming from, and I definitely do agree with you more after hearing you out about the mother is an action word more than a title, which
yeah,
means the person that's doing
is
is the mother.
right.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
true.
It,
I agree with that.
I've seen, you know, to be quite honest, I've seen, and this is why I commend a lot of women. I commend them because they take on that role of not just mommy, but they sometimes they take on the role as also daddy. You know what I'm saying? And I've seen women that they are raising men. Well, they're raising
Young,
young men
yeah,
to be men,
yeah,
and they go ahead and they make sure that they acquire certain relationships with people who they respect, so that way their child can have some kind of good role model in order for them to blossom as good men.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? And for me, I just respect that. I think that's honorable when I see a woman does that.
yeah. That's
You know what I'm saying?
that's sacrificing
Yeah.
for the better of your child. And yeah, I respect it also. You know what I mean? Like,
Shout out to Sandra, by the way. What up, Sandra? I see you out there. Yeah, yeah. So that's one of the things, and I think for me though, I thought that was very interesting to hear a person call the donor the mother. Oh,
technically, the reason because the donor is a word that's it's not technically in that aspect. We just you the donor, yes, but they didn't just give the sperm and say here. The donor is something that they go to the sperm bank and give the
right.
sperm.
Or you could call them the carrier. If you don't want to call it the donor, you could
Yeah,
call them the
because their
carrier.
intentions may not have been to just give the child away, just circumstances.
Right. And but this is the reason why I say a lot of times I gotta respect a woman when a woman is able to say, listen, I want for this person to raise my child because this person's gonna do a better job than me.
Yeah,
I think that takes a real human being. It takes a big person
yeah,
to do something like
that's
that.
respectable.
Yeah, and for me, I don't think, and I hate to really say that, but I haven't seen a man do anything like that. Not to say a man would not do it, but I just haven't seen a man do anything like that.
Yeah,
And I know that a man can do stuff like that. I know that it is possible, but this is one of the reasons why we're gonna separate our mothers from our fathers, our men from our women, is because sometimes, and I don't want to, because I think a man could definitely be selfless as well. I think a man can definitely be as caring, just as caring as a mother. But I want to call a spade with certain things I don't see, and it's just maybe because I'm in the environment that I'm in, But I gotta call a spade a spade. It just is what it is. I just don't see it.
yeah. I mean, yeah, but the as far as the topic as that we was talking discussing, it just comes down to the confidence of the child,
Yeah.
and a lot of people that I know
Hmm.
always want to become successful, not necessarily to leave the mother that raised them, but they
Hmm.
want to be successful to help the mother that raised them, but also to go back and kind of give a helping hand to the mother
And that's fine.
that gave them birth.
Well, okay.
Well, you know, you call it
The
caretaker,
the donor. I call it the donor
the donor.
or the carrier. However you want to call it, but I don't call that the mother.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And I mean, it might not be the right thing. Maybe your point of view is the right point of view.
I think
Um,
I'm coming at it from a scientific thing,
okay.
which is a little more spiritual.
I,
But
I don't know. I'm coming from it as a realistic and a more how would you say it? Uh,
because even as
uh
I look at the definition of
yeah.
mother,
Hmm.
it says a woman in relation to her child or children, and
Okay.
that's one of them.
Okay. A woman in relation,
Yeah,
not a woman who's birthing.
yeah.
Nothing to do with birth. Mother, a woman in relation.
To
So
her child.
to her child, right? So she take care of that
Technically, that's
child.
not her child.
Technically, it is because she's taking care of that child.
Yeah, but
She's
she's taking
responsible
care
for
of
that child.
somebody else's child.
That's her child.
No, we talking because on the second
They say in
definition,
relation. They say in relation. They didn't say birth. If you say birth, okay, that's a different
in
story.
relation to her child.
Right. In relation. So that's what it is.
No, but the second, yeah, it's
Okay.
good you say birth. The second said give birth to.
Give birth to.
Yeah, period.
That's what they consider mother.
Yeah,
That's the definition of a mother.
yes.
All right. So you want me to give you my definition?
Yeah, this is Google, so
Google.
you mean you the research man,
yeah,
so you
I might-
are you gonna go against Google today?
Well, you know, let me tell you the thing about it is these are some of the things that makes a good mother a good mother.
Yeah, I
And then
know
we
you.
have a bad mother to a bad mother.
Yeah.
But now we going above and beyond good and bad. We going to say mother versus carrier
Yeah.
or mother versus donor.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So for me, what I say is based on what life is to me,
Uh-huh.
I'd say just because you give birth doesn't make you a mother.
Okay.
That's for me.
Yeah.
And I understand for you, you give birth, you're a mother. You got the label.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying this is my opinion.
Yeah.
My opinion is you raise that child, you're a mother.
Yeah.
You
Nah.
you give birth to the child, you give birth. That's it.
Yeah.
You take care of that child, you're a mother.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just like a father. If you yeah, you could have intercourse, and anybody could say, yeah, you have intercourse. You bust
But I
inside
think
of
things
her.
like that is like just being politically correct, trying like in an effort to make, because it all boils down to the confidence of the child. So it's kind of like,
But then
just-
that boils down to the raising of the child. It depends on how you raise that child.
yeah, but it's because you don't want to tell a baby, the woman that raised you, that you have unconditional love for, is not your mother, or the woman that you don't even know about that is your biological.
But that is a mother, not biological mother. But that if
no,
she,
no. That's
if
what I'm
she-
saying. You don't want to tell the child that the woman that raised them is
It's
not
not-
the mother.
Why
'Cause
not? Why not? You got to explain that to the child, and so
It,
that's where the lack of confidence would come in.
yeah.
If that child don't know, so I
No,
agree
no.
with you
It's
on that.
not even.
Or
yeah.
if you don't want to tell that child, you have to break it down. You have to explain it. That's just another.
Yeah, you're
it-
right.
If
You got
that child don't understand that point,
Yeah.
you're doing a disjustice to
No,
that
but-
child.
It's in the house. You can raise the child right. It's not what happens in the house. It's usually outside the house that the problems, the
But-
insecurities come.
All right, but it's like within a person, right? In order for a person to be strong, in order for a person to be successful, it's not necessarily the exterior.
Yeah. It's the interior.
It's always the interior.
Yeah.
So it's the same thing. And when that child is inside of that house, you're instilling certain things inside of that child. Now, when that child go outside,
Yeah.
it's like you're
Preparing
arming,
them, yeah,
you're
preparing
arming
them
that
for the
child.
battle that the
Yeah.
world is gonna give them.
Yeah, and that's what it is. Once the inside is good, and for me, I always say,
Nah, I
once your
believe-
mind is good,
I believe in
everything is good.
that. Yes, I definitely believe in that.
Yeah, so I feel that the mother is the not just
The inside, the person that worked on the inside,
right,
how the child carries himself.
right, Right.
apart to just what they look like.
Right. Not just you give birth, okay, oh, you're the mother. And oh, I'll be the caregiver. I'll be the, no, a title like that. That's a big title.
Yeah.
I really believe that's a big title. And ladies and gentlemen, we coming up to the last few minutes of the show, and I just want to say we got a little carried away. I got the list, but I thought this was very interesting, and that's the reason why I wanted to
Yeah.
keep on going on it. Is because
Important too.
it's very important, yeah, and it's the point of view. And to me, I'm looking at it as a cultural thing. I'm thinking it's a cultural thing only because we grew up in different places, and we have different opinion, but at the same time, we're both human beings, and we both have a mind, and we able to think, and we able to conversate, and we able to diverse our opinion. We have different opinions, and based on our opinions, I think that it's awesome. And I've just wanted to kind of lock in on that, because that, to a lot of the listeners, I'm thinking this might be different for you guys as well. But then again, some of the listeners, my opinion might be different. My opinion might be outlandish.
Yeah.
So it's kind of good that we actually come and speak about it.
Yeah.
And I think that it's not that we're saying two totally different things. It's just a matter of titling, what kind of title we're given. And for me, the title of a mother is, I look at it as a serious title. And based on that title, I think that the woman has to do more than give birth. The woman has to care for that child. And that's when a mother is a mother. Not necessarily just because you give birth. When you give birth, you are a birth giver. You just give birth,
Yeah.
and that's it.
Yeah.
So Pretty Blacks, how about you explain? Just we got a couple more minutes.
Yeah.
Take about 1 minute and give your last thoughts on this topic, on this Mother's Day topic that we're talking about.
Yeah. Yeah. So we talked about it, and yeah, I believe that at this point of the show, that the person that put in that work, that does the action, is truly the mother. And just because maybe you share different features with someone, but if they have that love for you, because we all need love to truly grow and handle this world. If they give you that love that's needed for you to be able to handle this world, then that's your mother. And you shouldn't worry about what the world thinks of you or your physical features. If that love is there, the love will conquer it all. So yeah, I was able to change my mind in the show. So that's what's up.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's facts. I think I like your point of view, though. I like that I was even able to hit, because I've never heard a point of view that way. And I think it's important, because I think your point of view is based on, I think it's a cultural point of view.
Yeah.
You know
Yeah,
what I
it
mean?
is. It very much is. And it's scientific also, but
Yeah, and that's the thing. With different cultures is gonna go more scientifically.
yeah, yeah. Then
But yeah, but when you're dealing with certain culture or certain people, they take certain things very seriously,
yeah,
especially title.
yeah,
And from listening to this, and even listening to myself, I realized at this point, when we talk about title, as far as one person being him or one person being her, we got to respect it.
yeah,
you know because title is so important.
yes, yes,
So if a person doesn't want to be called him, and that person want to be called her,
yeah.
that's the title that that person want, and we got to respect it,
Right.
because title is very important. So that's my last thing that I want to sum
Yes,
up on.
sir.
DJ Pretty Blacks, I appreciate you. I appreciate your opinion, man. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, this is the Holla at Me Show. Love is love. Peace and love. Ladies and gentlemen, thank y'all for listening. Holla at Me Radio Show. This is Caribbean Sunday. This is what it's about, ladies and gentlemen. Is multicultural, is we diverse, and we shooting it straight from the heart. We not holding
Facts.
no punches. We just keeping it 100. Ladies and
Facts.
gentlemen, happy Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day.
Love is love, and let's get it. We're back in the building on Tuesday. We already pre-recorded for Tuesday, so ladies and gentlemen, listen to us on the radio. Major Pain, one love. I see you out there, and
Facts.
everybody. That's what it is. Sandra, enough love. Motivations are us. Big Ed, definitely in the building. I see you, big dog. That's what it is. Ladies and gentlemen, until next time, we talk to you on Tuesday. Peace and love. Keep it
Right.
going.